It's been a while, but we decided to jump on here and give you guys a public service announcement.
Absolutely. I'm Adam,
And I'm Sheridan.
and this is Real Life with Adam and Sheridan. All right, well, it's story time. So, this is normally not what we do, but we wanted to take a moment to give a honest review and honest feedback of our most recent travels or lodging destinations
Yeah.
in Cancun, Mexico. Place called Krystal Grand Altitude Tower.
Yes.
So-
And it's very important for it to note Altitude Tower. So you guys know that we love to travel, and the past handful of videos have been all about travel, just because it's been hard for us to find the time to do regular life updates. So we're just capturing our trips. Our most recent one was our anniversary trip for our 3-year wedding anniversary.
3 of them things.
3. And we decided to go down to Cancun, Mexico. We go to Cancun all the time, really.
Yeah. I think this is our 6th time in the Riviera Maya or Quintana Roo area.
Yeah. So we're very familiar with resorts. We know what we like. We know what service we expect. But we're going to start out with the positives.
Yeah, so let's talk about the positives. So when we settled on Krystal Grand Altitude Tower in Cancun, Mexico, some of the things that led us to pick this resort was location. You really can't beat the location of this resort. The beach is wide. You can walk the beach. There was no sargassum on the beach, which was a plus. It's close to the water ferry if you wanted to go to Isla Mujeres. It's close if you wanted to hit the strip where, Cocobongo, Senior Frogs, all those different places. It's close to tourist areas, close to shopping malls, grocery stores. It's a great, great location. So that's a positive. Another positive is the room itself. So the room was spacious. It was an oceanfront room, double sinks. At the end of the video, we will do a room tour so you can see that. But that's about where
And that's where it ends.
That's where the positives end. So let's just walk you through real quick why we decided to change resorts in the middle of our anniversary trip.
Which is something we have never done on any trip before.
Ever.
And there were a lot of things to lead us to that decision. We were trying to salvage the trip about halfway through. So we'll give you the reasons.
So let's get into it. So we get to Cancun. Obviously the transfer is fine. We get to the resort. No welcome drink. I was like, interesting. They didn't offer us a welcome drink, but they did want to sell us a timeshare.
As soon as we walked in the door.
I mean, we still got our suitcases. And they're like, hey, you want a timeshare?
Yeah, so we were waiting to check in. And normally when you get a club level, which is an upgrade from their basic, I guess you can say basic accommodations, the club level, you're not really waiting to check in very long. However, we waited for what? I don't even know. It was more than 30 minutes.
It was more than 30 minutes, but we paid the premium to not have to wait. So there's no welcome drink. We are asked if we were interested in the timeshare while we wait to be checked in. So we finally get checked in, and it was like, well, your room isn't ready, but you're checked in. You can go to the buffet because that's the only restaurant that's open right now. So we get over to the buffet, and the first thing that I noticed is the floor is really greasy or slick. So you have to be very careful walking.
To the point where I never normally wear tennis shoes anywhere. I'm a sandals girly. I had on regular tennis shoes, and I felt like if I did not walk at a pace, kind of like if you're walking on ice.
Yeah.
That's literally how it was. And I, not being dramatic, it was a very greasy floor, which kind of just gives you a impression that everything's greasy.
It gives you the ick.
And we make our way over to the buffet, which is the size of our kitchen.
It's a sad buffet. Let me go ahead and jump it. It's a sad buffet. Think of if Motel 6 did a buffet. It was pretty bad. There was soup. There was some kind of fish, but there was no beef option. There was no chicken option. There was this dried out pizza.
There wasn't fruit.
No, it wasn't even fruit. And there's this dried out pizza. And this one lady was crazy for the pizza. Like, where's the pizza? Where's the pizza? But it was all gone. The bread was good. I had a roll. It was good. The pasta was mediocre to the point we said, you know what? We're just going to go to Senior Frogs. So that's the first thing. The buffet left a lot to be desired.
Especially for a resort of that size.
Yeah.
For it to be that small, it was very crowded.
It was
So
crowded.
that was our very first impression before we even checked into the room. We checked into the room. The room was fine
At first.
by like all appearances from the outwards. It was clean. The view was beautiful, but it's Cancun, right? And we went in November, so we went the second week of November. So just for the timing of like the sargassum, there wasn't any sargassum. The beach was clean. It was beautiful. And then
Yeah, so the room. Like I said earlier, the room was spacious. But then as we were in the room, the altitude tower is like a cylinder. So when the wind would blow, you would hear the wind whistling against the patio door or the balcony door, to the point where we had to crack that door to keep it from whistling.
yeah, we had to sleep with the door open because the whistling was very, very loud. And I understand, right, the resort can't control the wind, but
But they
can
can control the seal of their building.
Yeah.
So then after that, another knock, the fan. The fan in the room only had one speed, which was turbo. So it's just swirling around, swirling around.
To the point where it gives you the concern that it might become disconnected from the ceiling. That's how fast it was going. And then just the annoyance of like that much air blowing directly on you when you're sleeping as well. And then another thing was the toilet broke.
Yeah, the toilet did break.
And we had called to have somebody come and fix it. It just like, you know how the plug comes disconnected in the tank.
The flapper, it wasn't working.
And nobody ever came, so Adam fixed the toilet
on vacation.
on our anniversary trip.
Yeah.
So that's where we are with the room. Then we ventured out to try and find some decent food at the resort.
Mm-hmm.
So the food at the resort is not great. So we had room service a couple of nights, which I know room service for any resort is just a little hard just because of the timing and like where the kitchen might be by the time it gets to your room. However, the quality of the food was just very lackluster. So I ordered a caprese salad because we also do know that like you have to order room service things that are going to be safe. In terms of you can't have too high of expectations with anybody's room service. And we know that. But I ordered a caprese salad, which you would think is pretty standard. It was covered in shredded Parmesan cheese and no balsamic glaze, which to me is like part of the best part. I also had ordered like just mac and cheese, pasta. Those are pretty safe room service options. It was not good. It was soupy. It was like a milky cheese sauce. So that was a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
And then we went down to the hibachi restaurant one night where we didn't necessarily feel welcome, first of all. But we will get to that after the food. But the hibachi was a little sketchy.
Yeah.
They didn't cook the meat. And for steak, we understand not everybody likes theirs super well done. However, the chicken wasn't done, and they had hibachi pork, which was definitely different for us. I don't think we've gone to a hibachi restaurant locally or internationally that has pork as an option, and they had no seafood options for hibachi.
Yeah, no seafood options, which was really, I guess, eye-opening.
Yeah, it was a little different. No shrimp, no lobster. So that was kind of weird, and then the meat wasn't cooked all the way. So we just kind of ate the rice, picked around a little bit, and then we left. So that's how it was with the food. The breakfast in the morning at the Altitude Club was fine, but again, the options were small. So we were there for 6 days. We were supposed to be there for 6 days. So like after day 2, we really were like, there's only so many croissants and bacon for me that we can eat.
Yeah.
So that was just another knock to be aware of as well. And then just the overall service. And out of all of the other things, I think we could have kind of like work around a little bit more, but service to us is so important, especially when you're spending money on any trip in general, but especially an anniversary trip. You're trying to relax. You want to have good vibes, fun vibes, excellent service. And that was just it was below lackluster.
Yeah. So just to add some color to the service, like Sheridan said, we're big on service and we're big on tipping. So the overall vibe or the atmosphere that we received at Krystal Grand, we felt like we were intruding on someone else's party, someone else's dinner, someone else's vacation. We never felt welcomed. We never felt like they wanted us there. So let me give you examples. So the biggest example that I can give you is just being at the beach club. Being at the pool day. Being at the pool, the young lady comes over to ask us what we want to order. I give her $10 off from the beginning.
We always tip at the beginning of service, during service, and at the end of the day, because we know that we're going to be there all day.
Yeah, so I planned on continuing it. I planned on setting the tone early and then keep tipping throughout. So I gave her a tip. I said, let's get two, I think, strawberry margaritas and some fries. Still waiting on those margaritas. The fries did come, but the fries were ice cold. And we continue to get service like that, whether it was at breakfast, whether it was at the buffet or lunch, or just in passing. Another thing that really bothered me, so with the Altitude Tower, they marketed it as if it was an adults-only area and the adults-only lodging. That wasn't the case. There was an adults-only pool. Guess what? There were kids at the pool. I told someone about it. They didn't do anything about it. They didn't care. Yeah, so why am I paying extra for adults only experience and not getting it? And then when you say something, it's like you're bothering them, you're intruding on them. So all these things are building up. So you have the room where the fan isn't working, the wind is howling, the toilet isn't working, the food is subpar, the service is subpar. So all these things are happening that led us to our decision of a resort that we just wouldn't stay again, nor would we recommend.
And it also felt like it was a resort for locals, which is fine. However, it became like, because we weren't local and we didn't know this, obviously, that's not how they market themselves. It's not how any of the videos that we have seen. We do a lot of research before we go on any trip, whether that's on the location, the actual resort, what there is to do there. So we were very surprised that we felt like because we weren't local, we weren't welcome.
Yep.
There also is a lot of activity in the lobby. There's a lot of very long lines. The lines for the elevators are very, very long in the main lobby. You have people just kind of hanging out in the lobby that don't necessarily look like they're staying at the resort. So there's a lot of people sleeping on couches in the lobby or kind of like soliciting around. So that was just a little bit different for us. Ultimately, on the third day, we decided to go ahead and book at another resort that we have previously stayed at, which is the Royalton. I also did a separate another room tour review on that one as well, just because now it will be our second time. But we knew what to expect going to the Royalton. We knew the service was going to be good. We knew the food was going to be good. When we did decide to leave the Krystal Grand Altitude Tower, we went down to the front. We were very polite about it. We just said, hey, we're going to go ahead and check out early. And then they weren't even concerned about it. And I think this just goes to show that we probably were not the first people that felt this way. Because the first thing that she said was, I totally understand. We didn't say why. We didn't, come at them sideways. And then she was just like, okay, I totally understand. And Adam was like, well, do you want to
know why we're checking out?
Do you want to bring a manager out here? Normally, in a situation like that, especially within hospitality, and hospitality is something that is literally my college major. I've done it my whole life. So hospitality, immediately you are asking questions. Why? What happened? Is there anything that we can do for you? Let me go ahead and get the manager to come out. None of that happened until we requested it. They do have an outtake form that they just handed to us, and you have to write out, I guess, your reason for early checkout.
Your grievances.
Yeah. So Adam did put his grievances, and Adam's very polite. So he just kind of said, we just didn't feel like we were welcome. We didn't necessarily go into the nitty gritty to write out everything. And then once, I guess, the general manager came over and took the paper, he and the young lady that was at the front desk were laughing literally in front of us, which was a little shocking. So we were just
read the outtake form and started laughing.
Yeah. So we were just we know that we have made the right decision. We called a taxi and we immediately went to the Royalton, where the very first thing they did was offer us a drink, took our bags. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. West. The service there is great. That can be a totally separate review, but We've never left a resort early before. You do not get money back if you leave a resort early. Just know that. So that's how impacted we were. And
we made the decision to leave, knowing that we were losing money.
Yeah.
But we couldn't stay there. Just how we were treated, the experience, we just booked somewhere else. So it was very important for us to share this information with fellow travelers who may be looking at this resort, thinking about this resort. We wanted to share our full, candid experience. The best thing about this resort is the location. I give you that. But outside of that, the resort falls short of expectations.
And we will not be staying there again. We won't recommend it. There aren't a lot of videos on it. We've tried to see other reviews. We did read some reviews that did corroborate our experience as well. So just know when you are looking at reviews on a resort, read them thoroughly. Make sure that you're doing your due diligence, researching. We watch a lot of YouTube videos on resorts, which is why we were surprised when we thought this one was going to be great.
We did.
But recommend the Royalton. It's only 4 resorts down, so it was an easy taxi ride to get there. I will drop the room tour video just so you guys can see the room, but like, please don't stay here. It's the worst.
All right, and with that, we appreciate you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Please like and subscribe, and hit the bell for new notifications when we drop new videos.
Yes, we will be traveling again soon, and we can't wait to bring you guys along with us.
All right, you guys take care.
I'm Adam.
Oh, I'm Adam.
And I'm Sheridan.
Bye.
Bye.